Party started. Huh. There's an extra 6 on the end of the axis. That's weird. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. So good morning, everybody. If I missed you, I apologize. Chris, good morning. Thank you for being on and pouring into us today.
Yes,
much
sir. Good morning.
appreciated. So go ahead and get this thing started today. So welcome, everybody. We're going to go around the horn, if you will, in our typical fashion, and just call on leadership to share any good news. So we'll start with Tim. For some reason, brother, I'm zoning in with you. So any good news you'd like to share this morning?
Just another day. Woke up, so that's always good. Just had some good conversations with some folks, and certainly see the momentum starting to pick up here. And it's good to see it. Glad that Mr. Schiavo is on today. That's exciting. So, but no, man, just thrilled and excited to learn something new.
Awesome. Thanks, Tim. Mark, any good news? Thanks, Tim.
Yeah, kind of a different approach this week. We did some training days down here in the office Monday and Tuesday with some newer folks. That went real well. Was able to get Michael Walford going on a specific carrier and some things he was having some struggles with. Did that Monday, and then new agent Kevin Francis came in, and we spent a lot of time just getting him trained on some technical things and things that are important, to be successful here. And he got to listen in on some calls and that sort of thing. So it was good in that regard. A little slower business week for myself personally, but I don't mind putting money or the time into the other folks to get them up and going. That's why we're here as leaders, to lead by example and to lead in person. So looking forward to day one of I think it's a 5-week month, right? So excited about that. Ready to throw up some big numbers in the first quarter strong. We got some training coming up in March, which I'm planning for, and can't wait for that as well. So excited about the next 5 weeks and the end of the quarter for sure.
That's right. Today is day 2 of our 5-week month. So it's a great time to level up, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. I'm sure Chris will mention that as well. So thank you, Mark. Renee, any piece of good news for yourself and your team?
Yeah, so Edward's feeling better. He's been working on getting contracted. So and getting ready to tear up some boot camp, and I think he's going to do really well. And seems like I finally broke my 3 weeks of no-shows and cancellations and had a good week. So I was excited about that, and have 10 appointments going over the next 3 days. So I'm just looking forward to things, turning on a positive direction, and I'm looking forward to what's to come.
Well, you can hear the excitement in your voice, Renee, and obviously you're pretty easy to follow with the numbers and stuff that you put up, and positive attitude. So looking forward to big things from Ed, obviously working with you. Well done, and thank you, Renee. GP, you're up, my man.
Good morning, everyone. Michael, you're looking dapper. I mean, you're right in my screen.
He got a regular light on. He's looking good. I saw the same thing.
Don't get used to it. Don't get used to it.
No, that's what we need right here. Regular old lights. Go ahead, Gregory.
I got my hat on so I can be like Mark a little bit there, even though it is hot down here. But I feel good hearing that the leaders are talking about the training that they got all this week. Numbers wasn't that great this week, but we had some great trainings. Got together with Brandy. We did a dial session this week, and we got some good appointments set up for the rest of the week. The dial session yesterday, on the Thursday dial session, had the breakout rooms. That was really, really good. I did a one-on-one with Neil. Got a lot of good information on talking to older people about mortgage protection and stuff like that, and how to navigate through that. That was a really good thing. So just want to encourage everybody on those Monday and Thursday dial sessions. Check out those breakout. I went in yours, Corey, but I guess you weren't in there early. I mean, I guess you weren't in there at 8 o'clock Eastern time. You didn't go until 8 o'clock.
No,
Central.
It was the way they had it set up. I was only supposed to be in there I took a full hour. So it was
Uh-huh.
only supposed to be from a certain time, but I was actually under for like 2.5 hours, but it
Okay,
wasn't from the
okay.
time. So I
Okay.
apologize. That was miscommunicated.
Yeah, but yeah, so the training has been having. Oh, also, the week kind of started off bland. I had to make a big decision business wise, and God is great. So He gave me when you ask God for something, He'll show you exactly what move you make. So me and Corey and be talking this week. So I had to make a great decision. So I'm excited about that. I'm really excited, and just thanking Him for the opportunity to grow my team and my business. So take it away, buddy. Thank you.
You know, we're here either way, Gregory, and I'm excited. Whatever decision you make will be a good one. You know, we're blessed that you're here no matter what. So we appreciate you saying that, and looking forward to talking to you even more now. I was going to reach out to you today, and I don't even talk about that. I just want to check on you. But anyway, appreciate that. Michael, with the normal lights, and you're looking good today, man. This is what we need right here. Just normal stuff.
Well, in my defense, I look good every day, but don't get used to the light. No. It's not even a special occasion. It's just everything's going so well. You know, I had a crazy good yesterday for dial session and stuff like that. Like today, I mean, that's why I'm dressed up, because right after this meeting, I have to be at a house, and I'm gonna be busy until like 8 p.m. And same thing for Saturday and stuff like that. A little bit of Sunday. It's just another thing I always say: embrace change. So I knew that this was coming up. So I started going to the gym more often, hit the gym earlier today. So I got that out the way, got myself ready for the day, ready for this. So, it's going to be a good weekend, weekend warrior stuff. So I'm excited about that.
I love it. Proud of you, man. It's awesome. You're doing what you need to do. I know even just last week, you were like, man, the last 2 weeks I've been getting my butt kicked, and I've been doing this. My appointments haven't been showing, and all this other stuff. The same conversation we're having with Renee. And then Christy even posted something the other day in Slack. And then all of a sudden, you have a great dial day and you got 10 appointments set. Your energy's high. You're back in the gym. Like, it's funny when you're doing the things you need to do and you're sticking with that schedule. It's amazing what happens. So proud of you, man. Keep up the great work. Looking forward to seeing you soon. You're very welcome. And this is perfect. You look good. You got the normal light on. So we'll just stick with that. All right, Amy, before I call on you, Chris, I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot. Any good news you'd like to share for yourself, Ignite, all the way down to us?
Yeah, we have a lot. I think kind of just taking a big bird's eye view. I mean, there's so much training going on now with FFL on as a whole and with each of the individual agencies. And I keep hearing in my head, Sean Mike saying, rising tides raises all ships. And what we did yesterday, what you guys did, I didn't participate in it yet, but the breakout rooms, that's from Zach Twardowski, that's from Gage Peer. Okay, yeah. That's from his group, right? So his group is growing phenomenally and has been, because he's all in. So when you're in the ship and you're in those raising tides, you're doing the work, you're a part of FFL, you can't help but have success. And when you work with the largest IMO out there, companies are constantly looking for ways to pay us more bonuses, provide better products for the clients, quicker process, all this stuff, because we're a part of FFL. We're with an IMO that does $1 million a year. Yeah, they appreciate us, but they're not going to listen as loudly and as clearly as they do. So, you guys will start to see that the longer you're here, you're going to see how great the opportunity is. I mean, it took me at least a year, and I'm still learning. I've been here 2 years almost, and still learning, and my eyes are still opening to how great an opportunity we have here. So, on a personal note, we got Cody Witzel. He's a young man, 30, that I work with real closely in the Braunfels. No sales experience prior to this. And, he's been here 8 months, and he's had 20,000 last month in January. I don't know where he'll finish up, maybe 15 this month, but he's submitted 17 and then 10,000, so about 27 over the last 2 weeks. And then you got Melvin Tejada there with Todd, who is also killing it. I mean, he's got, he's only 22 and just does this full part-time, and I looked at the report, he's at 27,000 issue paid for the month of February through 3 weeks. So not submit, but issue paid. So those are some huge success stories from young people that don't have any insurance experience.
I want to add to that because it's come up 3 or 4 times already. I was fortunate enough to, raise my hand and say I'm willing to help with the recruiting piece. But those breakout rooms, guys, I went into 2 of them yesterday. The other 2 besides one that I was in, and it was awesome. I was able to talk to, I think his last name's Keith LaFleur. I think that's how you say his name.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I was able to go in with him. He's doing all telesales. That's all he's doing. He does not go in any homes. He's got his hat on, his sweatshirt, and he's just knocking deals out. He did 24,000 last week. So he's there. You can listen to what he's saying. He's doing one call close. He's calling people. You can literally listen to everything he's saying. So you got a lot of people from across the country that they don't make 1 red cent on what you do, but they're willing to pour back into you. I spent 2 hours and 19 minutes with somebody yesterday that remembered me from the practice company. So he specifically came to that room to talk to me, and he's like, I didn't know any of this stuff. So it was awesome to be able to pour back into that person because you just never know, what seeds you're going to sow there. And I hope the guy has a fantastic career here. I gave him my phone number, and if he calls me, I'll answer. So that's my good news is, guys, please just take the time to invest in your business. And maybe investing in your business is not always a monetary thing. Coming to the meetings, getting on the dial sessions. There's still only less than 60 people in those dial sessions, and there's 9,000 people in the Slack room for Velocity. It's like, do people really want the help, or they just say they want the help, right? So I'm going to swing to Amy before we go to Chris. Yes, sir.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
On the training and all of that good part that you're talking about, can we ask Michael one question? I want to ask him one question. I saw on Slack that you
are you still there?
Yep, I'm here.
All right, doing his hair. Go ahead.
I saw one part on Slack is that you had set like 10 appointments. I mean, that's fantastic. What did you do? If you don't mind saying, like maybe how many calls you made, how long it took you, and how did you get 10 appointments on there? Because I think that is very fantastic and something that people need to hear.
Yes. The last part you kind of cut out, but I think I have an idea what you're trying to ask. So it was all phone burner. I'm using phone burner, but it was all one session, right? In one session of phone burner, it was 156 dials, contacted 69 contacts out of 120 before my schedule was full.
You're breaking up, Michael.
Yeah, I think he's breaking up.
I know some of it, you guys, because I talked to him, so hopefully he'll come back in. When I text him and ask him how the dial session was going, he's just gotten acclimated to phone burner, which I highly recommend, by the way. If you guys are interested in phone burner, if you just send me a Slack message with phone burner, I'll send you the discounts, the training, I'll send you all of it. It's a really cool system. But I think he's coming back on. Go ahead, Michael.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what happened. But yeah, what I was saying was to answer your question, I was using phone burner. Made things a lot easier. I was trying to contact 125 total contacts, contacted 69 of them for a total of 159 dials, because I dial each one, at least try to do 3 times and stuff. I don't I don't focus on the things that aren't necessities. Each dial is like every time I call, you're calling to schedule an appointment, not to have a conversation, not to get everybody's whole life story and stuff. Just to get the appointment. I get the appointment, I do my tie-ins, I close it up, keep it pushing. So hopefully that answered your question.
Okay. Yeah. Did you let me ask you this? Did you take any breaks from the time you started the dial session? Did you take any breaks?
No. Yeah, no.
So when you get frustrated and you did 10 in a row and nobody answered, you didn't just stop and go do something else, right?
So no, I didn't. But I love that. I love it when I get rejections, because the more rejections I get, the better, because it makes the next appointment that much sweeter for me.
Okay. All right.
So yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Corey, for those few minutes, buddy. I'm sorry.
No. That everybody learns from this, right? So, guys, if you've not seen this before, I don't know how you've gotten through this point and haven't seen this, but you should be using these, because if you're not tracking what you're doing, how do you know where you're going? So Michael knows if I'm in the office, he's in the office, and I walk up to him, I'm like, hey, how many dials you made? He'll usually look at me. He's like, I've been tracking, and he'll show me his tracker. Even I do this, and I'm not sitting near as many appointments that you guys are. But it's like that sometimes. I went literally 26 dials. If you see the 150 line, that's 25. So I went about 23 dials before I set an appointment. and then win another 26 before I set another one. So, you know, whatever you're trying to do, set a goal, but you have to make sure you're tracking what you're doing, or how do you know where you're going? So thanks for asking that question, Gregory and Michael. Awesome job yesterday. And at least we know you posted it. And Renee, I tip my hat to you as well with your 10 appointments over the weekend. Can't help but have a good weekend, guys, when you're doing that. Got 10 appointments, 1 or 2 don't show. So what? Move to the next one. So Amy, I'm gonna call on you before we go to Chris.
Yeah, I just repeat what I normally say. I don't know how many people know, but I'm a contractor for 4 agencies now. 2 of those, Genesis and Worldwide, obviously, both do an amazing job of HCMS, putting your numbers in, you know, just following the contracting process as it's supposed to go. And I, you know, obviously credit a lot of that to these meetings that we have. I know other agencies, I don't know have the training. So there's a lot more that goes into helping people with that part of the contracting. So I appreciate you guys when you do recruit. You know, obviously most of our recruits come directly from us. So I do appreciate you guys following the steps, doing what you need to do, keeping in contact with your new hires. And I mean, there's a lot more getting on these meetings. There's a lot more people in Slack. And I think we're in a good place, and we're holding steady, and we're growing well. So I appreciate you all.
Thanks, Amy. Appreciate you and all you do, for sure. Chris, I was going to go over the numbers, but I know you probably have 1,000 other things to do. So I'm going to go ahead and let Chris pour into us. Those of you guys that want to hear the numbers afterwards, anytime we have a guest, I'll try to hold the numbers to the end. But you guys know my favorite part of our meeting, other than hearing from you guys, is sharing numbers. So today, guys, we have Chris Schiavo, EVP. You're EVP now, right?
Yes, sir.
Chris,
Yes.
Executive Vice President. Takes a heck of a lot of work to get there. You guys, Chris has been here for going on a couple of years, and is building a massive organization. And, you know, that's when I asked him what he wanted to speak about today. I was asking, try not to pigeonhole people and say, can you speak to this? I want them to talk about things that are relevant to them, that they're going to speak from the heart on. So Chris is always prepared, always willing to come on every 3 or 4 weeks and pour into us. And I know you guys will get something out of today. So Chris Schiavo, the floor is yours, sir. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. And just a quick overview, and I apologize for some of you that have heard this over and over, but, you know, I basically started in insurance about 20 years ago, and I sold cancer heart insurance door to door, low commissions, and never bought any leads. You know, that was okay. I did okay in that industry. It was real tough to build a sales agency of people to work full commission door to door. Then I worked with another IMO for a couple of years, still working basically door to door, no leads. And I average about $8,000, $8,000 to $10,000 a month in insurance sales. And that was okay because I was making about 2.5 times the commission that I was making before. COVID came, and Eric Hamadi was coming, which if you don't know him, you'll get a chance to meet him. He's head of the FFL tribe. But Eric Hamadi was coming over to Velocity, and Family First Life was telling me about how, you know, people are making $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a month, and some of the people that I knew. And so I told myself, my goodness, if I'm half as good as Dave Wichard, who's, you know, making 40 grand a month, then 20,000 a month is still twice as good as I'm doing. So I said, okay, well, let me go ahead and do this. And I never bought leads before, but started, and it was so impressed with everything here at Family First Life. And I didn't jump into all the Family First. I wasn't in the ship at first. I just was doing my own thing on an island. I didn't even want to build an agency when I first got here, because I'd already done that with another company. And I didn't feel like it was a benefit for the people that I worked with. But being so impressed with how the leads work, and Sean, Mike, and everything that I saw here was so different than anywhere else I had ever been. It was about it was about the most purest place to build an insurance agency that I had ever been a part of. And in doing so, I had to tell people, and I started, told Todd came on board, and then everything grew like wildfire. Then Tim and Corey, came on board. So there's a large agency. Yeah, we've, our best months have been over 500, close to 600,000, but it's not because of me. Yes, I started. Yes, I go to work. Yes, I tell people, but the growth really comes from the rising tides, which is Family First Life and all the work of everybody that's here. So I'm just very grateful to be here. And I hope that, if you're newer or if you're here and you haven't had the results that you want yet, I really hope that you pour your heart and your mind into FFL, into getting better, because the rewards are just incomprehensible. I still have no idea of what's in store for me and our agency in the next year to 2 years. So just excited to be here. What I'm going to talk to you guys about, like I said, is working consistently to build a large agency. And I'm going to sum it up in 4 points.
Hey, Chris.
One, yes.
I didn't mean to cut you off. Guys,
No,
for
please.
just a second, I just want to give you guys a different paradigm, because some of you guys on here today, Chris, your topic is perfect, because some of you guys on here today are probably here to, I'm just going to make my sales. I'm not going to do anything with building the agency, which you just heard Chris mention. And I've had a couple of you guys have reached out to me and said, man, I never thought I wanted to build a business. And now that I'm here, I can see like it's easy because it's simple. I'm not going to say it's easy. It's a simple process to follow, right? So this is somebody that came here. Chris, what did Ignite issue pay last month, roughly?
Last month, about a little over about 400,000, or real close to that.
So just so you guys know, because this is important for this conversation, just so you guys understand the opportunity and everything that this entails. When you get to 750, 800,000 a month, Chris has been here 2 years. If Chris doubles this year, he goes to 8, right? In 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
If he grows by 25% next year, Chris is over $1 million a month. So in less than the time it would take you to get a 4, which is really a 5-year college degree, let's call it what it is. You can have a multi-million-dollar agency that Integrity is going to come to you and say, you don't have to, but do you want to sell this thing and become a multi-millionaire and you're the person that takes your family to that next stratosphere, right? Where finances is never an issue for your family if you manage your money properly, right? So I just want to give you guys a perspective of when you're listening to this today, listen from a growth perspective. Listen to somebody that was just coming here just to make sales and protect families, but saw the opportunity. And now as a business in less than 2 years, getting ready to probably go over $500,000 here in the next probably 60 days, right?
Absolutely.
That's a true statement.
Yes.
So one more double up, and Chris has an Integrity partnership if he decides to do that. So I just wanted to lay the platform for what Chris is about to say so that you guys hear it, not from just a sales perspective, but from what could happen to you if you go into growth mode. Chris, thank you. Back to you.
Absolutely. Sure. So 4 key points in building a large agency. 1, know your why. 2, know what to do. 3, know how to grow. And 4, no excuses. Okay. So know your why. Obviously we always hear this. And if you don't know your why, and your why will change throughout your whole life. My why was different when I was 32 and starting, and then when, getting married and having children, that why changes, right? So some different ways that you can know your why is ask the questions. I think some of the greatest answers I've had, and Leonardo da Vinci, who was probably one of the most intelligent, best thinkers of, in the history of time, he wrote questions down. He didn't necessarily look for the answers right away, but he wrote questions. So how do I build a large agency? How do I, have a team, an agency that does over 100,000 a month? How do I produce $40,000 or more in business? So, whatever, how do I get into the best shape of my life? Whatever questions you want to ask, write those questions down. This one technique can help you develop a better life for yourself. So know your why, start asking questions, goal setting, real simple. Start with whatever you can, start wherever you are. Some people are visual, do a vision board. It doesn't have to be all cars and homes, it can, but I think it's more powerful when you tie other people to it. Maybe if you have a home or a car, maybe that's a car that you want to buy for your mom or your sister or your father or your child, whatever your situation is. Maybe if you put up pictures of, Tahiti, maybe you want to send your parents there. Okay. So sometimes, well, I'm going to say oftentimes, we'll work harder for other people, that we love than we will for ourselves. Because doing it for me, that I can do it for a while, but it's gonna fade. Okay, it's gonna fade because I'll settle as a human being. I will settle. But if I want to do it for my mom or my wife or my children, I'm gonna keep pushing way beyond where I'm comfortable. Okay, so vision board, if you're visual. Also, this is one I think that's really underused. Share your goals and your dreams with other people. Now you're going to want to share it. It's two ways. Share it with people that don't believe in you as well. Sometimes those people that tell you, man, that's dumb. You're never going to do that. What are you kidding me? You want to do that? You want to build an agency? Man, you can't even do this. You can't even keep track of your bank account. Sometimes it helps to tell those people so you have that fuel, that motivation in your mind, and then obviously share it with everybody. Okay, share. Too many times we keep our dreams to ourselves because it's not real. Okay, but as you make your dreams real, you got them on paper, you're writing them down, you've got your vision board, you're talking about it, your dreams become more real. So that's your first thing, know your why. The second thing is know what to do. Okay, in this business, I always try to keep it as simple as possible. Know what to do. I wrote down 3 things. Your schedule. Keep a consistent schedule. Write it down. That's one of the things that Cody Witzel, I worked with him. He's got 2 young kids. He didn't have a schedule. He was working a lot, but I said, Cody, let's get a set schedule for you so that you have time for your children and you have time to do your work. Okay. So schedule a consistent lead flow. So every week you're buying the same dollar amount of leads. Okay. With your lead flow, it's real simple. It's 5 to 1. You want to make $10,000 a week, then consistently invest $2,000 a week in leads. Okay. And you will do that. You want to make $8,000 in sales. Okay. So that, depending on your compensation, some of our sales are guaranteed issues. Some of them are, higher commission. Some of them are others. But if you want to make $8,000 in sales each week, then you must invest $1,600 on average each week. Now, I'd say must. That's if you're getting started. Those ratios will definitely increase as you get better. Some people get 8 to 1, 10 to 1. Okay. But I'm going to give you a level that's going to most likely get your sales results that you want on a weekly basis. Okay. So lead flow. And then the last thing under know what to do is dig for gold. Okay. When people dig for gold, it's not just on the ground. They have to dig for it. They have to mine for it. And this is our recruiting part. Okay. You're not just going to walk down the street or scroll through Facebook and people are going to, fawn all over you and come to Family First Life. You have to invite them to find out about it. Okay. And what I did in the beginning and still do is I'll talk to, in the beginning, it was 2 people every single day that I needed to connect with, just to reach out to. Okay. So it was either on the way to my appointments or home from my appointments. Okay. Now it's not as much because I've gone through quite a bit of my warm market, but I'm still reaching out to people on a daily and weekly basis. So that's the last part of know what to do. And then know how to grow. The only way that you can grow, I believe, an agency is through 2 ways. One is be valuable, learn to be valuable, and 2, learn to be duplicatable. So in being valuable, you first have to be valuable to yourself and to your family. This means that you're running a profitable business. Then you can learn to be valuable to other people. How do you be valuable to other people? Sometimes it's something as simple as listening to them. Sometimes it's also learning about the products, learning about the underwriting. I mean, Corey and Tim can tell you, they called me quite a bit in the beginning as they were learning. And I'm sure that they found it valuable and helpful that they had me and other people that they could call on and say, hey, what do you think about this? Or what do you think about that? I needed that help too when I first started. Okay, so learn to be valuable, learn about the business, okay? And then be duplicatable. You know, I've got a real good friend that's in the insurance business. And if I have an oddball, weird question, super complicated, I call him. But guess what? He submits probably 20 cases a year because these are super big cases and they take months and months and months to develop. And he's been in life insurance for 10 plus years. It's what he loves to do. He's got many letters after his name, many certifications, but he doesn't have a large agency at all. Okay, because he's not duplicatable. He's very smart, but what he does is not duplicatable at all, in my opinion. In this business, and the reason that FFL works so well is because we do have a simple process that once we learn the simple process, when we keep it simple, then other people can follow it and grow as well. And then the last point is the no excuses. And this is the part where we have to learn how to condition ourselves to say no to the things that distract us. I got good early on when I started in insurance at saying no. I would procrastinate on the non-income producing activities. So I would always learn to put off what I could put off so that I could work. Okay. So those are my 4 key points. Know your why, know what to do, know how to grow, and then no excuses. So that's what I got for you guys, Corey. And of course, I've got time, for any questions or.
Perfect. Any questions for Chris?
Yes, I have one. Could you go over what you do with regards to leads? How many leads you buy if you want to make X amount?
Yes, sir. So starting out, the general rule of thumb, it's a 5-to-1 ratio. So what that means, let's say for myself, I want to have, we'll just use 10,000 because it's a nice round number. I want to submit $10,000 in business every week. Okay. I've divided by 5, so 2,000. That's my lead budget. Okay. I can split that up into any number of leads personally. I use the CRM, but there's many lead sources. Okay. So, but the main point is we've got to invest in leads. And so it's 5-to-1.
Thank you.
I have a flyer
Yes,
that we
sir.
made that we put on Slack. I'll put it out there today, and it breaks it down. If you want to sell 10, get 2, and it's broken down. I'll make sure to get that posted out there so you guys can see that again today.
Thank you, Corey.
Chester, you're very welcome, sir. Any additional questions for Chris? It's good stuff. Well, Chris, going once, going twice?
I have one.
Yeah, I got one. Oh,
Go ahead, Gregory.
So yeah, Chris, first of all, another great training. I love how in those four steps, everyone was consistent. You can always do something great one time and then not do it again. So I think that the main point of your training that I received out of being consistent and consistent schedule,
Yes,
consistent
sir.
it's all of that great stuff right there. That's what keeps us going. Because I met that at the convention that young guy, 19-year-old, I can never remember his name, that wrote like 800,000 last year or something like that.
Michael Sandman.
Yeah, and he was on one of the YouTube videos that were interviewing him, and his whole thing was he didn't even start off good. He started off terrible. Came from Louisiana, came to Florida, was living in a van and all of that. But that wasn't even the excuse. You even talked about that, Chris. That wasn't an excuse. He just kept being consistent. Every week got better and better and better. And at the end of the year, wow, almost $1 million on himself. So thanks for that.
Right.
For being consistent.
Of course. And consistency is boring. It's so boring, but it's so good for our health, for our relationships. How much more do our spouses, significant other, children, parents appreciate it when we are consistent, right? We've all known people where maybe we have to walk around on eggshells because they are inconsistent, right? In their behaviors. We don't know what to expect. So it's the same with our business. Our business appreciates it when we are consistent. The men and women that we work with appreciate it when we are consistent, when they know what they can expect. So consistency is boring, but it's one of the most important things. Ryan, you had a question, sir?
Yes, actually I do. I actually have two questions. So the first one, I watched a video this morning while I was working out, and it was I don't remember the guy's name anyway. He was talking about getting good at referrals. And I was just kind of curious, what do you do for referrals? Hearing multiple ways is always a good way to find your own way. And the other question is the schedule situation. When it comes to the schedule, I know I need to get a better schedule. And what are your recommendations to finding a good schedule?
Are you married or have a significant other, children?
Yep, all of the above.
Okay, so coordinate with, I'd say first, you come up with a plan, okay, with the schedule. I like to write things down because it's just works more effectively for me. So I'm always writing things down on yellow pads. So I just write down the days of the week across the top and the hours from, 6 to 10 o'clock at night, every 30 minutes. I would write it out. Make sure that you put in and I hate saying, important, like work is not more important than family, right? But we do have an obligation to our family. If we're the sole provider or the main breadwinner, then our business is a priority, not over our family, but to take care of our family. So put in your work first, make sure that you've got your dial days. Those have got to be the most unfettered days, the ones that are just like you heard Michael talk about earlier, just the ones where your family knows that those are the days that you're gone, right? You're unavailable because you are protecting your dial days so that the next 2 days you've got taken care of, right? So these people that set 10, 12, 15 appointments, we don't know what the sales results are going to be, but we got a pretty good feeling that if they do that week in and week out, they're going to be just fine and they're going to do real well. Okay. So make that schedule out, then sit down with your wife and then go over that. Make sure you didn't miss anything. Make sure that she understands why it's important and what she can expect the business to bring in from that. Okay. So make sure that, if I do this, then we can, I can provide this to you every week for our family for bills. Okay. So schedule would be writing it, making sure that it works for the family as best that it can. And in the beginning, it does have to be a little bit, you have to be more lopsided to building your business. Okay. So that would be the schedule. As far as referrals, I think
Real quick,
several,
Chris, if you don't mind.
Yes.
What
Go
would be your suggestion to start with as far as the schedule? What would that look like? And maybe what is your schedule too?
Sure. I would say 7:30 to 7:30 on dial days. Okay. And then I would run appointments, I'd say starting at at least by 9 in the morning. And so are you running face to face?
No, I'm actually the majority of it is doing telesales. I'm using the face to face to kind of help some of the agents that I'm trying to bring on. But other than that, I intend to do mostly all virtual.
Okay, so look, you can call me one-on-one. I don't do any of the telesales. So I think getting into your schedule is more of a longer conversation to do you justice But I would say, so Cody, he's just, his is just real consistent. If you're going to do most of it over the phone, then I think you need to be working from, 8 to 7, 5 days a week at a minimum. Okay. And then running, I'd say run face to face Friday, Saturday, or, a combination. But talk to, have a good, nice 30-minute, hour-long discussion to figure out exactly what you need to do. My schedule, it's all over the place. My wife and I work together. So on dial days, I've got Zoom calls, trainings. I take kids to school. I sell, I catch up, I do customer service over the phone. So it's a hodgepodge at this point. I like it, quite honestly, Ryan, when I can just go out and work, but I got to take care of other things, with the business. Okay. And then referrals. Yeah. But so the thing is that's, you can spend time and thought in that. And then you, as a business owner, you can make adjustments. Okay. So I think the main points are to put time and thought into it, conversation with your spouse, conversation with people who have a successful schedule. Okay. And then be willing to adjust. Don't stick with a losing schedule. Right. I mean, you want to get in shape and you say, okay, I can just do 2 days a week. When you after 3 weeks, you're like, man, I've gained weight and I'm not any stronger. You got to be willing to say, maybe I need to go to 3-4 days a week, right? So, and as far as referrals, two things. You got to ask, and you got to be valuable to your clients. Okay, so those are the two key concepts. Within that, there's a myriad of other things that you can do, but you got to be valuable and you got to ask. I keep in contact with most of my clients, either stop by, give them a quick call, send them a text throughout the years, because I've been doing it for a while. And I want them to think of me when they think of life insurance. Okay. I want them to somebody talks about life insurance. Oh, you should give Chris a call. I call them. Hey, how's it going? Oh, can you get my son covered? So those are the two things I'd say about referrals. Okay. Ask and make yourself valuable to your clients.
Great question,
Awesome.
Ryan.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Yes, of course. Sure. And Corey, you can, as always, I mean, if people don't have my number, you can, give that out.
Sure. If you guys want Chris's number, just send me a Slack. Just put Chris in there and I'll send it out, get it to you.
Hey, Chris,
Any
real
additional
quick,
questions?
can I ask you
Go ahead,
question?
Of
Yeah, hey,
course.
Chris.
Paul, you
Hey,
turned
Paul.
sideways, by the way.
What's
Not
that?
so you move your device, but you're sideways.
Oh, all right. Well,
There you are.
There you
better.
go.
Hey, all right. Flipped on me. Hey, so on your description, dig for gold. Okay. So you said you had set that goal early on. Call or talk to 2 people a day to introduce the opportunity.
Yes.
What were you initially saying when you reached out to those people?
Yeah, it was just real simple. I'd say, hey, Paul, of course it was different, right? If they were with the previous company or if they were just people that I knew. But it was just, hey, Paul, you should take a look. I've been here at Family First Life for a couple of months now, never worked with leads before, but I've been so impressed. When I worked on my own, I would sell about 2,000 or 3,000 was a good week for me in life insurance sales. But since working with leads, most of my days, are $2,000 or $3,000, and I've had days where, I've been able to, issue over $5,000 in sales, and it's been great. I can give you, if you're, I don't know where you are in your business, but I'd like to at least get you some information. Just something like that. I mean, the main point is kind of like referrals. Just ask. I mean, there are some people that, it came out smooth, and other people it didn't.
And those would be people not just in the insurance industry, but any industry?
Yes, sir. Yes. So, and I'm trying to think of some specific examples, but you know, and I had a lot of people, so social media and through posting your success, other people's success, you know, how we help people, this and that. I had a lot of people reach out to me, people from high school, people that I've known that I hadn't talked to in a while, and some people that I didn't even know at all. You know, and it still happens. What I do, you know, on a technical level too, is I've been posting. I like to post the stories on Facebook, and I can see who looks at the stories. And so from time to time, I'll also just send them a quick message just to see, you know, just to reach out. The first, I think what Amadi shared with me is just the first little conversation or whatever. Is just it's not, hey, do you want to take a look at Family First Life? It's just, hey, how's it going? Right? Just don't make the FFL the
big
first
pitch
thing out
right
of your
away.
mouth. Right. Just, hey, how's it going? How's your career, you know, at the practice company? I mean, I'd ask people, you know, I mean, how's it going? I mean, I always remember talking to Todd, you know, he was sitting at home calling his old clients, and because this was in June of 2020, and I knew the answer, but I said, well, how's your team doing? Oh, I got 3 guys and they're probably about to quit. You know, and after 19 years, 3 guys, I'm like, wow. You might want to take a look at, you know, at FFL. And I shared a few things with him, and, you know, lo and behold, you know, 2 years later, I mean, it'll be 2 years in July for him. But I mean, it's not even the same boat.
Right. Okay,
So
great.
what he's been able to do here, and it's not even about Todd. You know, I look back at my career in other companies, and the people that I worked with, they didn't even make 100,000 or barely 60,000 a year. Right. I mean, what we have to offer here is incredible. So I think just learning about what we have and what that can mean for people. There's never been another time in history or recent history where so many people are looking for something that can make a difference in their life. I mean, people are getting laid off. Everything is more expensive, but they have the same money that they have coming in for the last 2 or 3 years, but everything else is up 30%. That's a tough situation for families. Thank God we don't have to do that. Stuff goes up 30, 50%. We just go out and put in a few extra appointments. What a blessing. What a blessing.
Can I add
I'm
something too?
going to add one thing to that. Just one really quick thing. When you guys are recruiting, and I've recruited hundreds of people, probably some successfully, some I haven't. But one of the things that I've because there is a science to it. There really is. Not giving the job away, doing more asking questions and talking. I know some of you guys probably go, how in the hell did you get through that and not talk so much, right? But here's the other part of it. One of the things that I do is exactly what Chris was doing. Chris, I thought I was the only person doing that. When I posted my stories, I'll go back through and look and see, who's responded. And I will literally say, hey, thanks for checking out my story. Well, what do you think they say? You're welcome. I didn't say anything about business at all. And then once they do that, if it's somebody, because there's people that will do that don't even know you. I'll message them back and say, hey, thanks for checking out my story. What made you look at it? That's not me. I'm asking them what attracted them to look at that. And if they go, man, I've seen all this stuff about FFL, blah, 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 or I've seen so many of your posts, you guys seem to be doing a really great job, blah, 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 blah. And then I'll go, yeah, thank you. I've been blessed to partner with some great people. Are you keeping your options open? It's not a hard pitch. They looked at the information. I simply thank them. And then we start that conversation. And then if they go, yes, awesome. I'd like to set up a time to just spend 15, 20 minutes with you, let you ask whatever questions, because you've obviously been looking at what we do here. If it makes sense for us to move forward, if not, that's okay. Almost all of my recruiting guys has come organic. LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, that kinds of stuff. It just has. And that's what what you just talked about, Chris, I do that almost every day. Literally, almost, because I try to post 2 or 3 times a day. Some days are busier than others, but that is a very easy way to talk to somebody about the opportunity because they looked at it. I didn't have to go seek them out. I think I shared something you posted the other day, Chris, and 51 people. And most of the time, guys, you'd be shocked. When you go back and look at that, on average, I bet I have anywhere between 100 and probably 125 people that look at it. They looked at it. Very easy, free way to recruit.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's what I was sharing in the recruiting thing yesterday. It's funny you brought that up.
Yep. Easy, simple, and free.
Yeah. Tim, you're going to say.
Yeah, one of the things I remember, oh gosh, Chris, this has probably been 8 months ago. I was sitting on just left an appointment. Chris and I were talking, and we got to talk about warm market. And I've looked, and I think this is one that's probably overlooked a little bit. Because 20 out of the 21 people that I've brought on here has been warm market. I knew them before, and that's the beauty about what this offers. Corey's really good on LinkedIn, Facebook, and that's an area that I've got to get better at. But again, don't neglect that warm market. I remember something Chris and I were talking about. It's because when where, and I thought it was funny, Chris said where he was and where I was for about a year. We were in the top 5%, but we're celebrated going broke. I'll never forget that statement that you made. We celebrated going broke, like, hey, great. And that's one of the reasons I never really brought anybody on there or actively recruited there, because there was no value there. But when you get here and you see the value, you see what it can do to somebody's life financially, and when you can make that switch in your head, you don't need anybody. Okay. And you're just really looking for the ones who are looking. Because if you're gonna have to drag somebody in, you're gonna have to drag them through. And this opportunity is way too good. And one of the things, I don't know if you remember this conversation, Chris, but I think you got to talk about Super Bowl ticket. If you can't make the Super Bowl and you're going to call a friend up, the value of those tickets, right? You're going to, hey, you want some Super Bowl tickets? If they say no, do you just say, oh, well, I just got to tear these tickets up? No good. No, you're going to the next person. Because the value there. Somebody's going to value those tickets. You might have talked to somebody who's never watched a football game in their life. And then again, you might have shared it with somebody who, for whatever reason, always dreamed of that. So again, understanding the value of what you got your hands on is really important too. You don't need anybody, because this is the only place I've ever seen. You can write enough on your own iPad. You don't need to recruit, period. I mean,
absolutely not at all.
Michael, young kid, wrote 600 some odd plus $1,000. I don't think he's worried about the light bill anymore. And I doubt that he's still living in that van. You know what I'm saying? So again, that's the thing you got to look at when you offer this, because again, you're going to be giving your time away to help these people, and then you're going to change their world financially if they're willing to go to work.
I'm going to add one thing to you. Nailed that. You absolutely nailed it. Guys, when you're recruiting, don't recruit from a place of being desperate. Don't recruit from a place of, I got to have somebody on my team. If you have to chase someone to do the paperwork, if you have to chase them to take the test, if you have to chase them to show up at the office, if you have to chase them to do dial day, this just isn't for them. And you don't have to crack them over the head and tell them to scram and all that kind of stuff. Just spend your time with the people that are willing to do what they need to do. Paul Zibney came over here a few months ago. Paul's a student of the game. As much as I've known about Paul over the last 2 or 3 years that we've known each other, Paul's going to study this stuff inside and out. He's going to know that's just how he is. But we didn't have to drag Paul over here. First of all, we didn't have to make Paul do those things. And Paul's having a lot of success. It's so funny. I asked him a couple weeks ago in the office. I'm like, man, you had a $5,400 week last week. He's like, I did. He goes, I'm just staying steady with the task. And he's always asking questions. That's who we're looking for, because they're looking for an opportunity. Don't chase people to come here. Don't do it, because they won't last anyway. As soon as it gets hard, they'll run. Anyway, back to you, Chris. Great questions, guys.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Any other questions, guys, before we let Chris go? Well, Chris, I know you're super busy, dude. No, you're super busy. If you guys want Chris's phone number, just put Chris in my Slack line. I'm happy to send the number out to you. Chris, thank you for being available. Thank you for being open and pouring and sharing with us. And much success to you. Continued success to you and Ignite for sure.
Yes, sir. You guys take care.
Oh, hey,
All right,
Chris,
guys.
one
Yep.
last thing.
Go ahead.
In the beginning, there was nobody else we contacted, just so you know, you were the only guy that answered our questions, so
I wanted to
I gotta
be-
give
I
you
wanted
that
to be
kudos,
modest,
man.
Tim. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to be modest. I figured not, but that's all right.
Yeah.
Appreciate
All right.
you, man.
Always
Thanks,
do.
Chris. All right, guys. For
See you
those of you
guys.
guys who want to stay on, it's not required. I just wanted to be able to share good news and that kind of stuff, and then we'll have leadership close us out. So keep in mind, guys, I just want to make sure I put this back out there before I forget. 5-week month. Today is day 2 of the 5 weeks, so it's going to be awesome. The weather's getting ready to get warmer. The days are going to get longer. With some of the things that we have going on behind the scenes, our numbers are getting ready to get really big, really quick, which is just going to create more opportunity for more people. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen and go through this, rip through this pretty quickly. But I know sometimes we don't go through this, so you guys don't have to stay on. But I gotta share the recognition because I think it's important. All right, we just talked about this being a 5-week month, so make the most of it. It's time for people to level up. So if you're trying to get to sales manager, this is your month. Senior sales manager, heck, even getting to VP. We'll continue to post that information out there. If any of you guys have any questions about how the comp works, the integrity partnership, how that works, what integrity is, what integrity does, happy to answer any of those questions that you have. You know, there's a lot of content, a lot of material, a lot of things out there. So if you guys have questions or you're concerned, ask. Like literally ask, because that's why we're here. That's why we have a leadership team, and that's why we're here to pour into you guys as much as we can and help you. For sure. So HCMS, when you're getting your agent codes, please make sure to get them into HCMS for a multitude of different reasons. But the main thing is when you're getting ready to get a comp increase, for those of you guys that are doing that, or you're leveling up, the only way that the carriers can be contacted by Amy and FFL, because you work through FFL, not for FFL, is to have that information in HCMS. Otherwise, it cannot be submitted to home office through the carriers to provide you comp increase. Monthly bonus, $30K is issue paid is a $500 bonus, $40K, $750, all the way up to $150,000 issue pay is a $6,000 bonus. Believe it or not, people do that every single month. We now have our 15 people in the next level training, so I'm super excited about that. This weekend, you guys that have signed up for the next level meeting, if you will, March 22nd, 23rd here in St. Louis, you guys are going to get a Slack message that's going to explain a lot of things. So you'll know where to come, what time, the dress, you know, those kind of things. We won't give you a schedule until the day before, because some of you guys won't come for certain things. So we'll get that out to you later, but you will have plenty of communication, plenty of time, etc. In reference to our meeting schedule, Monday and Thursday, you guys know are dial days. I think we need to have more people participate in that, but you guys run your businesses how you see fit. It's a great way to get on there and listen to people that are writing 20, 30, 40, 50K a month or more. And you can literally ask them questions about what they're doing on dial days, their business. And that's one of the, I call it an odd thing about FFL as opposed to any place else. Most of the time, most of the people are going to answer your questions. And most of the time, they're going to be truthful. So it just gives you a leg up and you don't have to stick your finger in the light socket and learn everything. Mondays, the Velocity New Agent Training, 12:30 Central, 1:30 Eastern Time. If you're a new agent and you're not on there, I have no idea why you wouldn't be. Just to get on there and hear what some new agents are doing. You just heard about Cody Wetzel, who connected with me on Facebook the other day. It's kind of cool to talk to him because he just brings a pretty a unique view to our business. Never sold anything before, and he's absolutely crushing it part-time. He's doing better than I am numbers-wise, and he's part-time, which is nuts. Great call for you to be on. Wednesday, our recruiting and onboarding call. If you have a new teammate that you're bringing on, or you're thinking about recruiting, this is a fantastic meeting to be on because it's going to walk you through the entire process. Some of you guys might not have seen this yet, including leadership, that FFL behind the scenes, they've created 4 or 5 different platforms. One of them is going to be able to have us get people coded once they get their license and be able to write within 24 hours. So very much looking forward to that. As those things come through, we'll be talking about that more in the onboarding meeting as FFL rolls those things out. Of course, Thursday is the Velocity team call. So they'll have people on that are killing it across the country, whether they're a part of Velocity or not. That's a fantastic call. I don't miss those at all. They're really, really good. Gives you an opportunity to ask questions of people that are winning. And of course, our meeting that we have on Fridays, our team meeting, where we have a guest speaker or one of our leadership train, etc. If you're somebody that has an expertise and you want to train on something, please reach out to us. Iron sharpens iron. That's how we get better. And we'd love to have you train as opposed to having us do it all the time, for sure. All right, numbers. So we have 11 people that continue to be on strings, which we know this is going to grow. Brian Spagala, 3-week ab string. Well done, Brian. Mariana, I keep wanting to call you Mariana for some reason. I apologize. Mariana, 3-week ab string. Reggie Calhoun, 4-week. Jeff Scott, 4 weeks. Paul Zimney, 9 weeks in a row. He's protected a family. Ryan Valet. Ryan, I don't know if it's Valet or Valette, but I'm going to call you what your last name actually is. Is it Valette? If he's still on?
Yeah, it's Valet.
Okay. Valet, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. Thanks, Ryan. I appreciate it. Ryan,
And make
Valet.
sure that you say my name right too, not Mariana. It's Ryan.
Got it. Got you, Ryan. Ryan Valet, 11 weeks in a row, getting ready to hit that 13 weeks and get that plaque that he can hang up in his office. Christy Polsak. Christy, just so proud of what you're doing. You come here, you're kicking butt, you're taking names, you're protecting families every single week, you're recruiting. You're just a bright star for our organization, and much appreciated what you're doing. 21 weeks in a row that you protected a family. And Renee, can't say enough about what you're doing. You're attending meetings, you're calling, you're seeking out information and knowledge. You're getting better. You have your down times, but you battle through it. 45 weeks in a row. It doesn't even seem like you've been here that long. 45 weeks in a row that you protected a family,
Renee.
including Thursday. Well done, Renee. You should be very proud of yourself, what you're doing. Keep fighting. And then we got Mr. Bilo, hit a year, 52 weeks in a row, my friend. Very, very cool. Got something really cool for you and Mark coming. Just waiting for it to come in. Hopefully it's in here by before the next level meeting so I can present them to you guys then. But congratulations, my friend. Just awesome to see what you're doing, leading from the front, building a large organization and helping tons and tons, hundreds and hundreds and thousands of families with you and worldwide for sure. And then always leading from the front, our top producer all of 2021, Mr. Mark Williams, 57 weeks in a row, building an organization, selling every week, leading from the front, just trying to do other things to help the organization grow. Appreciate all you're doing, Mark, and congratulations on your 57th week, which I know will be 58. So everybody has an opportunity to join that string. All it takes is one. In reference to our numbers, guys, because this is recorded and I'm going to post this on YouTube, you guys can see the numbers. I'm going to go with families protected, so I don't say the number, okay? So Mariana, 1 family protected last week. Brian Smagala, 1 family protected. Christy Polsak, 1 family protected. Kwaku, 1 family protected. Jeff Scott, 1 family protected. Jeremy Kirkendall, out in Higbee, Missouri, doing this part-time and is very consistent, digging in here, 1 family protected. The great one, going 57 weeks in a row, 1 family protected. Ramon Santana, 1 family protected. Sharice out there in Oklahoma City. Theo, let's see, Jake Grellner hit for his first Transamerica last week with 2 families protected. Jeremy Cruz, 2 families protected. Now we get into the top 7. 3 families protected by Reggie Calhoun down there in Texas. Brandon Kniff, 4 families connected. Well done, Brandon. Ryan Valet, 3 families protected. I think I got it right that time, Ryan. Mr. Zimney, 5 families protected. Congratulations, Paul, for being number 4 from a numbers perspective, and 5 weeks protected, or 5 families protected is pretty darn awesome. Mr. Salazar, Mr. 10 appointments yesterday. Huge week again, top 3, number 2 in the organization in reference to numbers, 3 families protected. We've got Renee Barker, again, just always leading in the front, from the front, always in our top 5 every single week. 7 families protected, the lead last week. Well done, Renee. And Mr. Bilo, Mr. Worldwide, 6 families protected last week to finish in the top spot. In reference to our top 5 producers last week, you can see them 5 all the way up. Congratulations to Ryan, Paul, Michael, Renee, and Tim. Well done, you guys. Of course, this was posted on Slack yesterday. Obviously can't say the numbers due to the FTC information stuff we got going on. Our top 10, again, we're just going to go from bottom to top so you guys can see the apps. But for time's sake, congratulations to Jeff, Christy, Reggie, Brian, Renee. And then in our top 5 for the month so far, we've got Mark with 7 families protected. And you can see numbers wise what Mark has done. Well done, Mark, with a week left. Mr. Zimney there with 5 families protected. Ryan at 7. Michael, again, 12 families. Well done, Michael. And Tim just caught you last week with a huge month so far. We'll go well over, I think you guys know what number I'm getting ready to say, to go well over again with 12 families protected. These numbers are facts, so I can state these. So last week, we issue paid $32,397. which is pretty awesome, especially from our week before. That brings us to 84,226. So we'll go well over 100K for the month of February. And again, this is a 5-week month. In reference to our start for Thursday, you guys can see where we're at. We had 6 producers go out and help families last week, all with at least one family protected yesterday. Top 3, Renee, Christy, and Mr. Zimney. Congratulations, Paul, for being at the top of the heap to start the week. Last couple times that we'll post this on here, just want to make sure that everybody's aware, but we will continue to post this daily. Americo, you no longer have to have the swab, and they will go all the way up to 450K, no saliva, okay? All the way up to 450K, no saliva. Can you guys still see my screen? I was getting a phone call. You guys still see it?
Yeah, we can still see it.
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you guys very much. I don't know why it does that, but 450K, no saliva, simplified issue with the home mortgage series. For those of you guys that are new, it does not have to be on a mortgage in order for you guys to provide that product. Last couple things here, and then I'll let you guys go and call in leadership. Mutual of Omaha. If you write your first IUL between now and the 10th of March, they're going to give you $100 when you get that issue paid. Top agent with all of FFL is going to get $4,000. And if you issue pay $7,500 of an IULE, which is their IUL Express, they're going to pay you $1,000 if you do $7,500 or more issue pay. So this, of course, this flyer will continue to be posted out there until March 10th. You guys at this point, even if you're new, should understand what's going on with the bonus with Americo. Just to let you know, 8% bonus if you have 45,000 or more on the books with them. This ends May 31st, and they pay these bonuses out very quickly. So as long as you're within good standing, you can see this on the flyer down at the very bottom. I will post this. You can read through the details. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me directly. I'm happy to cover this with you. And Amy and our social media person put this calendar together last year. It's been refined. So you can see here February, hopefully you can see that, February 24th, which was yesterday, was the first day of March. I know our calendar is a little bit weird, but this is a 5-week month, so it gives you an opportunity to level up. And last but not least, certainly WorkSpots. If you guys are not aware what WorkSpots is, $99 a month, get you access to over the 250 offices across the country with FFL, get you printing, the snacks, whatever the case is. But the biggest part of that is your leads, discounts, and being around other people that are pulling the rope in the same direction as you so that you stay by the fire. Thank you for that, Mr. Bilo. All right. Anybody have any questions?
I have a comment that I'd like to share that I have been faced with 3 times this week. You talking about the Americo going up to 450 for like mortgage protection reminded me. So I wanted to share with everybody about that just real quick. I have had 3 appointments for mortgage protection. And when I got there and explained to them the different options, the response I get is, this is life insurance, not mortgage protection. And I had to collect myself really quick and point out, okay, first off, all mortgage protection is rooted in life insurance. The mortgage protection that a lot of people are thinking about is the credit protection that a lot of the banks used to do when you got a mortgage loan. And it would be a decreasing term policy, and it would pay the creditor off the remaining of the house loan if you passed away. So what I'm using to further that and explain the benefits of this, number one, it's all rooted in life insurance. But here's the difference. With that situation with the creditor, you have no control over where that money goes. So what happens if at the end of, let's say, the last 30 to 60 days of your husband's life, he ended up having to go into a nursing facility and the bill's $7,000. You don't have $7,000 to pay that. So if the creditor has the decreasing term policy and just pays off the bank, you get none of that money remaining to you because it decreases to be equal to the amount of the loan. But if you have personal private life insurance, you can then turn around and take that $100,000 and decide that you only want to put $75,000 on that mortgage loan and refinance it to a more manageable payment and keep that $25,000 to be able to pay off the rest of your bills. So you have control over where that money goes instead of the creditor. So I don't know if that helps any of you guys, but that's what I've done in my 3 appointments this week. And it helped tremendously to be able to bring them over to our side as opposed to thinking about mortgage protection how it used to be.
That's a great share, Renee. That's absolutely fantastic. I want to share this really quick because I know we're a little bit after time, and you guys can jump whenever you need be. In leadership, I'm going to call on you guys here in just a second. I remember Michael me beating the heck out of him when I was training him, and I don't know if he wants to take himself off mute, but here's the deal. There is no difference between mortgage protection and final expense. Okay.
Oh yeah,
Very simple. I'm going to make this very plain. If you buy a $50,000, let's just call it Aetna. You buy a $50,000 whole life policy with Aetna, and you buy a $50,000 mortgage protection with John Hancock. Okay. If that person, and the beneficiary is the same, if that person dies, what happens to that money?
It goes to the
Goes to the
beneficiary.
beneficiary.
So what's the difference between mortgage protection and final expense? It's what they think that money is earmarked for. So you don't want to lie to the client, right? Because there's no reason to do that. But what Renee is saying is exactly right. People that are in their probably 50s, late 50s, 60s, and 70s, that's what they know is these decreasing term policies that used to be sold a long time ago, and it protected the bank. It doesn't protect the client, right? It protects the bank. What Renee said is spot on. Transamerica, living benefits. Mutual of Omaha, living benefits. Americo, living benefits, right? If something happens to them health-wise, they could tap into that and still have that benefit there. Now, I'm not trying to make this confusing. There is no difference between final expense and mortgage protection. And let me tell you one last thing about this. When you start doing mortgage protection and you start doing direct mail and mail order, it's going to cut your dial day in half. Tim's getting ready to start shaking his head. And the other thing that it does is when you're doing mortgage protection of what they assume mortgage protection is, your premiums are going to be a lot higher. And the people that you're talking to, they're doing mortgage protection, most of the time don't have near the health conditions that you do when you're doing final expense. It's a win-win-win. If you can start doing direct mail and you can start doing mortgage protection, you guys, it's going to take your business to the next level. Anything anybody leadership has to add to that? Tim, I'm sure you got something to add because you're really making a huge transition with that.
Mark, you look like you're chomping at the bits, buddy. Go ahead.
Yeah,
You really do.
I'm glad Renee brought that up because it's exactly right. I let people right off the bat know, hey guys, this is just life insurance. Mortgage protection is a marketing term. I literally tell people, hey, what's going to happen if you pass is your beneficiary is going to get a tax-free check made out to them, not to the bank. They can put it in the bank and make house payments. They can pay off the house, but they can go buy a freaking Corvette. You can do whatever the hell you want to with the money is what I tell them. You know, it really takes the edge off. They you know, I'm like, you kind of position the bank as the bad guy. Like, hey, they're not going to get your money that you pay. You know, that money goes to your beneficiary tax-free and they can do with it what they want to. Obviously, we say, hey, you want to have a conversation with your beneficiary on, you know, what your wishes are, but you know, you're not going to be forced to do anything. And then the living benefits are what really sets it apart because that people don't understand that. Hey, did you know you could actually get your hands on 90% of that money if you have a heart attack or you're still alive, you know, to pay your bills or whatever. I mean, that's huge. Credit Life doesn't offer that, obviously. All that's for is to cover the bank's butt. That is it.
You know, just real quick, and I'll end with that. And Mark's spot on, Renee's spot on. Guys, it's all about forecasting, you know, letting them know right up front what's going on because you're in control. And one of the things I always ask, you know, as I'm going through a mortgage protection deal, I always ask them, you know, when you have regular life insurance, your beneficiary gets paid when? Of course, you're going, well, when I die. Exactly. Mortgage protection is a little bit different. You know, it's a life insurance policy on steroids. You know, you know, if they got a cash back offer, it pays you if you stay well, it pays you if you get sick, hurt, can't work. You know, so again, I explain those out and, you know, show them the difference. And the one thing that I've learned is really spending a little bit extra time on those living benefits, because that's huge to people, like Mark was saying, because living benefits, you know, when you can tell somebody, because we all know somebody who's gone through something, some type of health challenge, and 66.4% of bankruptcies are a result of medical bills today. And that's actually jumped 6 points really in the last 4 years. So those are good stats to keep in mind as well when you're talking to them about mortgage, but be a good forecaster. Let them know, hey, typical life insurance pays when, what? Get them involved. They answer, well, when you die. Well, wouldn't it be nice to have access to that money? God forbid if you're going through a heart attack, stroke or something, right then and there to help pay bills, keep you in your house. Of course, what are they going to say? Yes. So again, it's all about forecasting. But
Last thing
great
that
share.
I'll throw you, if you have a pen and a piece of paper and there's someplace you can write, please write this down. I promise you this is going to help you next week. It might even help you this weekend, guarantee it. Anybody heard of, other than leadership, an equity protection plan? Okay, that wasn't rhetorical, but that's okay. So here's the deal. Guys, when you're sitting down and you're talking to sometimes you're going to run into a situation with final expense. And sometimes you're going to run into a situation where maybe somebody's a little bit more seasoned. Let's say they're in their 60s, 70s, or whatever, and they still owe a ton on their mortgage, right? I just had this happen the other day. Give you guys a quick scenario. What we mean by equity protection plan is you're buying time as opposed to insurance. And when you explain this to people and they go, oh my God, first of all, you're not trying to sell them the $150,000 that they're not going to get anyway because they're 65 years old. Even if you stacked a bunch of policies together, most people aren't going to be able to afford $600 a month, right? But what they can afford is $150 a month for a $40,000 Mutual of Omaha policy, or $30,000 with Transamerica, or you pick the carrier, right? But here's the deal. Let's say their mortgage, and if you're doing the inventory sheet, you're going to know all this. Let's say that their mortgage, they have $150K left on their mortgage, right? $150K left on their mortgage. They're divorced, or maybe they're single and they're still in the home, right? They're retired and they're living off their retirement, etc. So they can afford the 150. But here's the deal. Their kids are in Florida. And if their kids aren't going to move back, if they pass away and they're the only the person that's on that mortgage, what happens to that house? Goes away, right? But here's the deal. What if the kids, even though they're not going to move back from Florida, had 40 house payments to pay that so they could get the house cleaned up, get the stuff separated however they want, and then get the house ready to sell, right? Or somebody that they know, or move into the house, or whatever the case is. So an equity protection plan is simply buying them time. And if you understand that, you're going to help a lot more people, because some people go, I can't afford the $150,000 to cover the whole mortgage, but I can buy that time. Make sense?
Can I just interject that?
Absolutely.
Most of us that do, at least those that I've spoken to, most of us for equity protection will look at 6 to 12 months, sometimes 2 years, depending on the home and the family dynamic. So if you're dealing with somebody that's low income and on Social Security, you know, and you really have a tight budget to work with, 6 to 12 months is usually more than sufficient for them to buy that time on equity protection. Otherwise, you might scare them away if you immediately try to go to a 2-year, you know, length of time. That's a lot of mortgage payments, and that's going to be a pretty heavier premium. So if you're dealing with somebody that's just retired, they're 65, 70 years old and only on Social Security, focus on 6 to 12 months of that mortgage.
Awesome. Tim, good news, or close us out here.
Guys, just another great meeting, and just go out and serve folks this weekend. I mean, we've got a great opportunity, and just excited for what's going on, seeing the growth. And any questions, anybody can reach out to me anytime, as well as anybody else on here. And I would highly encourage that. If you have questions and you're driving between appointments, pick up the phone and call. I know Ryan and I talk quite a bit, and several other people, Renee and I do. Corey and I, we talk like schoolgirls, but anyway, you know, but just don't ever take some non-productive time and make it productive the best way that you can. And just get a little bit better every day. 1% better a day is all we're looking for in this business. And within 3 to 6 months, you will be an expert. I don't know any other field where you can do that in.
Not at all. Mark, you're up.
Well, I love 5-week months, so I'm excited about being into day 2 of a 5-week month. Anybody that's planning on being at training in March, factor that into your time. Plan for it when you buy your leads, when you set your schedule. You know what your plan is at least a week or two out. And like Tim said, get better every day. One way to get better in this business that I've been trying to do is digging into some of the other carrier stuff that I've been uncomfortable with or I've kind of pushed aside and didn't make it important. You know, if you remember what we do here, we put the customer first, serve them first, solve their problem first, and then everything takes care of itself. And we have lots of tools in our toolbox to do that. So, you know, ask your peers, ask anybody you see that's maybe writing a certain product that you're not familiar with, ask them why they're writing it, ask them what it's doing for the client, ask them how you can use that to better serve your customers, and we'll all get better every day by doing that. I for the first year pretty much had the blinders on and just stepped on the gas pedal and was out just hammering it with 2 or 3 carriers. Now I'm starting to step back and look at what's a better fit for the client with all the tools we have at our disposal. So just stay focused, get better every day.
Thanks, Mark. We can work your time for sure. Salazar, you're up. I know you're driving. Just keep your eyes on the road, my friend.
Yeah, 100%. You know, it's going to be a great week for everybody. You know, 100%. You know, I'm already on weekend warrior time on my way to my appointments now. But, you know, like always, just embrace change or nothing else is going to change. You feel me? And stuff, even on your bad days, even on like dial days, if you don't feel like going to the office, if you don't feel like making those calls, well, I mean, nothing's going to change. You feel me? So, like, you know, take the, you know, responsibility, take the initiative, get those things done so you can put yourself in a better position, things like that. And, you know, like everybody else says, you know, over and over again, like no excuses. So, yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Good luck today, by the way, and the rest of the weekend. I'm sure we'll catch up. Renee.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I just want to say how proud I am of everybody on this team. The past couple of weeks, a lot of people have really been stepping up and getting in there and doing the thing. And I hate to point anybody out because I know there's somebody I'm not going to mention and they deserve to be mentioned. And so I'm just going to say I love seeing all of the numbers. I love being challenged, and I think everybody is trying to reach for the top 5, the top 3. And I love to see new people popping in there and even booting us out. And, you know, all of it's awesome. That means you guys are really giving it your all. You're doing what needs to be done. You're sticking to dial days. You're taking the training seriously, and you're reaching out and getting good advice from those that are, you know, have come before you or that are performing a little bit at a higher level than you are. And just keep it up. You know, all of us in leadership are always available to help you guys. So don't be afraid to reach out and keep at it, guys. We're going to do some amazing things this month.
Well said, Renee. Well said. And then last but certainly not least, GP, close us out, man.
I really enjoyed the training today. Just another great training from Chris. Great training from everybody else. I really liked, Corey, what you said about the equity planning. That's what me and Neil kind of talked about a little bit yesterday. That's a great way to focus our clients on protecting their families. But for everybody, think about the job that you had before you came into FFL, whether it was a 9 to 5 or whatever like that, and think about the hours that you put in. 40-hour week, 8 hours a day that you're putting in. Somebody else told you when to come to work. You had to be there at a certain time. If you were 5 minutes late, you got, you know, chastised or threatened or written up or whatever like that, because what you did affected the rest of that team. And then you made $50, $60, $70, $80,000 a year, whatever it was. If you put that same 40 hours of effort in here, into this business here, you can double what you made at those other jobs. So think about that. The opportunity is here. All of these people on here to talk to, like Tim just said. Me and Tim talked like 2 or 3 times last week about IULs. Me and Renee have talked. Me and Corey talk every other day. If I don't call him about something, he'll call me. GP, you all right? Everything good? What's going on? Those type of things. Talk to Michael Salazar. Ask him about those calls. How are you on the phone all this time making these calls? I'm calling and calling. I get frustrated. Talk to people about that. We encourage each other. Like they say, our iron does sharpen iron. We encourage each other. We're not in competition with anybody, with each other. We're in competition with ourselves. And when we realize that, we can talk to each other and help each other grow. And we can all be 6-figure or more earners and help a whole ton of families and take care of our own families. All right. Thanks, Corey.
Guys, there's nothing else I can add to any of that. Great shares, you guys. Appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for your time. You guys did not have to stay on until 9:26. You've been on here for about an hour and a half. Thank you guys for your time. Thanks for your efforts. Thanks for everything that you guys do. Trust me, if you have not had a claim yet where you've had to help somebody with a life insurance claim, when it happens, it's going to help take your business to the next level, and it will happen with all the people that we're helping. So thank you guys very much. Weekend Warrior Time. If you need anything from myself or anybody else in leadership, just reach out. Bye for now, guys. Be great.
Bye, guys.
Good luck, everybody.
Take care, everybody.
See you.